So I've been asked to do this video about Christians and marijuana because, as you know, it's becoming legal in many states, and it's only a matter of time probably before it will be legal in the whole country. And it's a really confusing topic for me. I honestly do not know where I stand because I think that I have a lot of emotional baggage that comes with marijuana. I grew up believing it was wrong because it was a drug, the gateway drug, and so that influences and, shapes your mentality. So when I think of marijuana, I immediately think it's wrong. It's wrong. But the reason I think that is because it's been illegal my entire life, I also am abnormal and have never tried marijuana. I've never tried any drugs. That's not normal. I feel like pretty much everybody I know has tried marijuana, at least from Miami. I'm sure there's people here in Tennessee that I know now that have never tried marijuana, but the people that I grew up with and the people that I knew all did drugs. I never did. Just never have been interested in it, and I always thought it was stupid, and I didn't want to be stupid, so I didn't do it. But I did plenty of other stupid things. That was just me being judgmental and critical and then being stupid in other ways. So I'm not saying I was so wise. I just, even as a non-believer, I thought it was dumb, and I didn't want to be dumb. So I showed my stupidity in other ways and judged those that did smoke it. And so now as a believer, okay, the easiest scenario, if you live in a state where it's still illegal, then yes, it would be completely a sin to smoke because you live in a state that it's illegal, and so you have to follow man's law because that's what God says. So you do have to obey man's law, and if man's law is marijuana is legal, then if you smoke it, you are sinning. If you live in a state where it is legal, that's where it gets really, really confusing and tricky, and I don't know. I want to say it's wrong, but I think that I can't say it's wrong. I can say that it's foolish because I know that it will make you think. It will impair your judgment, your thinking. You might act like a moron, and those things are not wise according to Scripture. It is foolish to drink to the point of drunkenness. It is foolish to do something that impairs your judgment and makes you act like a fool, to lose control of yourself. If you do something that causes you to be foolish, you probably should wisely stay away from it. And so that's how I feel about it. Now some people say, what if you're in a completely controlled environment and it's just for fun? Oh, that is such a hard question. I honestly, I know that I won't. I know that I will not, because my conscience will not permit it. I would feel like I was sinning, even though I know in my head this is wrong. I would feel like that I can't do this, that God's telling me, Alana, not to do it. But if you can do it where it's legal and not feel that spirit telling you stop, and you can truly, freely, not get to the point where you can convince yourself that it's okay, but you truly, truly think it's okay, and you can not be convicted and not act like a fool, then maybe, I don't know. It's so confusing. It's so tricky and confusing to me. So I don't have a solid opinion. The only thing I can say for sure is if it's illegal and you do it, you're sinning. If you travel to a place where it's not illegal and you do it? Again, I don't know, because I remember when I was in high school, I went to Europe, and in Europe, the legal drinking age is either non-existent or 16. I can't remember. But all the people I was with were drinking. I wasn't, because I thought it was stupid. But all the people I was with were like, yeah, so excited. So they were all drinking. And were they breaking the law? Not there. So was it okay? I think. I don't know. I don't know. That's so hard. So it's going to be a heart issue. It's going to be a heart issue. If you can do it, I don't even know what words to use. In faith, if you can do it in faith, if you can do it without quenching the spirit and without feeling convicted, and truly, truly at peace within your soul with the Lord, prayerfully, where it's legal, then I guess it's okay. But I would not advise you to do it in a place where you're going to look like a fool in front of people, or not have, good judgment if you need it. So it's really, really hard. And I can see this becoming a huge problem for marriages, where maybe one spouse feels one way and the other feels different. And since it's not sin, they're free, and then the spouse that really feels convicted about it to watch her spouse do it, which hopefully, if the one that feels free in it knows how their wife or their husband feels about it, they would sacrifice and be selfless and not do it in order to please and not put their wife or husband through turmoil because of a decision that isn't even necessary, a selfish decision. So that would be ideal, but not everybody's going to do that. I can really see this bringing a lot of conflict and tension and stress to families as it becomes more and more legal. I will also say, I have my friend who is a nurse telling me the other day, she has seen people die of smoking. She has seen people die of alcohol abuse. She has never seen anyone die of marijuana. She has seen people in the emergency room, for drinking, but not for marijuana. So it really is such a how you're brought up thing too, I have such a bad taste in my mouth from my childhood of exposure to marijuana that I detest it and I hate it and I want absolutely nothing to do with it, and I want my family to have nothing to do with it. But my goodness, if this becomes legal and my children grow up in a society where it's considered fine and normal, like legal age of drinking and legal age of smoking, then what in the world am I going to do if when they're 21, to them their night of fun is to have friends over, and instead of me having friends over and having one glass of wine, them having friends over and having one joint? I don't even want to think of that. That makes me nuts. But I also want to be gracious and not judgmental and critical, and not condemn others for their choices if they feel free in the Lord for something that isn't sin. Not tell them, no, you're wrong, like a Pharisee. No, your actions are not what I think they should be, so I'm going to condemn you and make you feel judged, and who am I? I can say that God doesn't want me to do it, but I can't say God doesn't want that person to do it if it's legal. If it's illegal, God doesn't want anybody to do it. So that's my stance. It's not a very solid one, I'm sorry. I'm just sharing my mind and my heart. It is confusing.